Let's talk about denial of service and distributed denial of service, sometimes called DoS and DDoS. Denial of service is simply keeping a server so busy that it can't serve anybody else. Now, I'm going to give you a demonstration, but it's not actually going to be a workable demonstration. And that's because today, most big servers keep you from doing this sort of thing. But I'm just going to ping here google.com. And you'll see that I'm going to get 4 responses back from the google.com server here. Well, imagine that I sent tens of thousands or millions or even billions of pings to the Google server all at once. Well, it might become so busy that it can't actually serve the google.com web page. Now, again, that's not going to be true because Google will have systems in place to keep that from happening. But maybe a smaller server might not, some ma and pa server somewhere. So that would be a denial of service if I just flood this server with some work so that nobody else can use it. Now, a distributed denial of service works in much the same way. Imagine that I kept doing that, by the way. Imagine I kept pinging google.com. Well, there are records of my IP address from Google, and it would be very easy for them to identify me. And so one way that we can get around it is the attacker puts malware on many, many devices across the internet, and there are many ways that they might do that, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it now has all of these systems that are ready to jump at the attacker's command. And when it says jump, it now each of these devices now sends something to the targeted victim's device over here, and now it can't tell. It doesn't know who this attacker is. All it sees are these. So it has no way of knowing who that attacker was, and it hides and protects that attacker. And you have all this computing power down here. You might have tens of thousands of these machines, or even 1 million of these machines, all attacking that thing at once. And it's harder to detect as an attack, and it's also, as I said, hides this attacker here. So that would be a DDoS, or distributed denial of service.